Welcome to the deep dive. We take sources, dive deep, and pull out the key insights.
Exact.
You know, there's something about storytelling, especially stories about coming home. It's primal.
Definitely. That longing is universal.
But what if that journey home becomes, well, this epic fight against monsters, magic,
Uh-huh.
maybe even yourself?
Uh-huh.
Today, we're really getting into one of the biggest stories ever, Odysseus and the Cyclops.
Right.
And we're using his own words, straight from the ancient text, od20-9.pdf.
And our mission here is, well, it's to unpack what this story tells us about leadership, under crazy pressure.
Yeah.
And that clash between civilization and, total savagery, plus the danger of pride, of hubris.
And the cost of being clever.
Exactly. The cost of cunning. We want to pull out those surprising bits, the deep lessons that still hit home today, to help you get a richer understanding of this foundational myth.
Okay, so let's start where Odysseus himself starts. He's talking to King Alkinoös, right? Laying out his story.
Yes, his introduction.
And he says, I am Odysseus, son of Laertes, known before all men for the study of crafty designs, and my fame goes up to the heavens. I mean, that's quite the opening line.
It really is. Gold. But what's really telling, I think, is how quickly he anchors that identity. It's not just about being crafty.
No.
It's about home, Ithaca. He calls it rugged, sure, but also a good nurse of men.
Meaning it shapes strong people.
Precisely. And then he says it flat out. Nothing is more sweet in the end than country and parents. He even contrasts it with being held captive by these powerful goddesses, Calypso and Circe.
Right. Shining among divinities, the guileful.
Yeah, they both wanted him, but he says never could she persuade the heart within me. His loyalty is just absolute to his core.
And this deep desire for home, that's what fuels everything. He's about to tell them about his mournful sufferings, which he blames on Zeus. So it's not just some travelogue. It's about his values, his drive to get back no matter what.
And I think that's a crucial insight right from the start. His famous ingenuity, those crafty designs, they aren't just for show or for conquest itself.
No, they serve a purpose.
They're tied directly to that loyalty to getting home. His cleverness is a tool for homecoming. That sets the stakes for absolutely everything that follows.
Okay, so after Troy, first stop is Maros, land of the Caiconians.
Right.
And at first, things go their way. They sack the city, kill the men, share the loot fairly. Standard stuff, maybe?
Well, yeah, for the time. But then comes the first major test of leadership and discipline. Because Odysseus, he sees the danger. He tells his men, let's go now.
But they don't listen?
No, they were greatly foolish, the text says. They hang around drinking wine, feasting on the beach, basically ignoring their commander.
A classic mistake.
And it costs them. The Caiconians regroup, call in reinforcements, more numerous and better men, skilled fighters.
So battle breaks out.
A fierce one. It lasts all morning, but by sunset, the Greeks are overrun. Odysseus loses 6 men from each ship.
6 men per ship? That's heavy.
A very harsh lesson right there about disobedience and delay.
And even after they get away, that loss casts a shadow. Odysseus makes sure they honor the dead, calling out 3 times for each man lost.
Yeah, that ritual, that respect, even in retreat. But they get no real break, do they?
Nope, because the gods, or rather Zeus, steps in.
Right. Cloud-gathering Zeus, he sends the supernatural storm, rips their sails, throws them completely off course.
Total chaos.
They're just adrift for 2 days and nights, exhausted, demoralized. And when they finally manage to sail again, the wind pushes them way past Cythera. They're lost.
And that leads them to their next stop,
Yeah.
the land of the Logos Eaters. Odysseus sends men out again. Cautiously this time.
Smart move. And this threat is different.
Yeah.
Really different.
Not so.
The Lotus Eaters, they aren't hostile, not violent at all. They don't want to kill the sailors.
Sorry.
They offer them this honey-sweet fruit of lotus. Seems harmless, maybe even kind.
But it's not.
No. Anyone who eats it loses all desire to leave. They forget everything. Their mission, their companions, their home. They just want to stay there eating lotus forever.
Wow. It's insidious, a psychological trap.
Exactly. It's not about fighting an enemy outside. It's about losing the fight inside, forgetting why you're even on the journey.
So how does Odysseus handle that? It's not something you can fight with a sword.
His reaction is swift.
Right.
And brutal, actually. He recognizes the danger immediately. He personally goes and drags those men back to the ships.
Rid of them.
Weeping by force, the text says. Then he ties them up under the rowing benches to stop them escaping again.
Ties his own men up.
Yes.
Right.
And orders everyone else on board fast before anyone else can taste the lotus. It's decisive. Ruthless, maybe, but necessary from his perspective.
It really shows different kinds of danger, doesn't it? Open warfare, acts of God, and this temptation to just give up.
Absolutely. That's a key insight here. Leadership means recognizing all types of peril. The Caeconians tested their battle readiness and discipline. Zeus tested their endurance against forces beyond their control.
And the Lotus Eaters.
Tested their very will, their commitment to their goal. Odysseus understands that losing the desire to go home is as fatal as any enemy weapon. Forgetting your purpose kills the journey.
Okay, so after forcing his men away from that temptation, they sail on and arrive at the land of the Cyclops.
Ah, yes, the lawless, outrageous Cyclops.
Odysseus paints a really clear picture. They don't farm, they don't plant.
Nope, everything just grows for them. Wheat, barley, grapes. All thanks to Zeus's reign. It's like a wild, untamed paradise in a way.
But their society, or lack of it, is what's really striking.
Oh, completely. No institutions, no meetings for councils. They live in caves, each one a law unto himself, caring only for his own family and cares nothing about the others.
Total isolation. No community, no shared rules beyond the individual cave.
It's the exact opposite of the Greek ideal of the polis, the city-state, with its laws and assemblies. The Cyclops represent pure, untamed individualism. Maybe even anarchy.
And he contrasts this with that fertile island nearby, full of goats, perfect for farming.
Right, but it's empty. Why? Because the Cyclops don't have ships. They don't have shipbuilders. They have no means and maybe no desire to reach out, to build, to cooperate on a larger scale.
They're completely self-contained. And maybe stagnant.
That's a good way to put it. Self-sufficient, yes, but totally lacking that drive for collective action, for progress, even for basic trade or exploration. It's a really stark image of a certain kind of existence.
Which raises a big question. Odysseus sees all this, understands their nature, yet he decides to go ashore anyway, with his 12 best men. Why?
Well, he says it himself. He hopes for presents.
Presents from these lawless giants.
It seems crazy, right? But it taps into that core Greek concept of xenia, hospitality. Even knowing what he knows, part of him still expects, or at least hopes for, that guest-host relationship. It's a huge gamble, a collision of cultural expectations.
So they reach the cave, Polyphemus' cave, high and overgrown with laurels.
Yeah.
And inside,
It's basically a giant's larder. Baskets overflowing with cheese, pens packed with lambs and kids, riches of a sort.
and his men, seeing this and probably sensing the danger, they urge him, take the cheese, grab the lambs, let's get out of here.
Sensible advice, really. And Odysseus himself admits later, it would have been better their way. Hindsight, huh?
But he refuses. He wants to wait. See the Cyclops, see if he would give me presents. That expectation again. Stubbornness, maybe.
Or maybe a bit of curiosity mixed with that ingrained cultural habit. But then the owner comes home.
Polyphemus. And the description is terrifying.
A monster of a man. Not like a normal human, an eater of bread, but like a wooded peak of the high mountains. Just immense, primal.
And strong, that doorstone.
Unbelievable. A massive thing. No 22 of the best four-wheeled wagons could have taken that weight. It immediately establishes the impossible odds they're facing. Physical confrontation is hopeless.
The Cyclops sees them. And his first words aren't exactly welcome.
No, it's an accusation. Strangers, who are you? Is it on some business, or are you recklessly roving as pirates do, bringing evil to alien people? He assumes the worst immediately.
Odysseus, though, he still tries the civilized approach. He appeals to the gods.
To Zeus, yeah, the protector of guests. He says basically, show respect for the gods, we're your supplicants. Zeus will avenge any wrong done to us. He's invoking the highest moral authority he knows.
And Polyphemus just laughs at it.
Completely scoffs at it. The Cyclops do not concern themselves over Zeus, since we are far better than they. A total rejection of divine law, of any authority higher than himself. Then he tries to trick Odysseus, asking where his ship is.
But Odysseus is too clever for that trap.
He is. But then comes the moment that defines Polyphemus's monstrosity.
The eating.
Yes, he grabs two men, just grabs them, and smashes them against the ground like killing puppies. The imagery is brutal.
And then he's them whole.
Entrails, flesh, and the marrowy bones alike. Nothing left, just horrific. The ultimate violation of hospitality, of humanity itself, pure savagery laid bare.
Unimaginable. And Odysseus sees this. He actually thinks about killing Polyphemus right then, while he sleeps.
He draws his sword, but then he stops.
Whoa.
He realizes if he kills the Cyclops now, they're all dead anyway. They can't move that massive stone blocking the entrance. They'd starve.
Wow. Even in that moment of horror and rage, his strategic mind is working. He sees the bigger picture. That's incredible
It
restraint.
really is. Foresight under the worst possible pressure.
So the next morning, the horror repeats. 2 more men eaten for breakfast. They're well and truly trapped. Raw strength is useless. What can they possibly do?
This is where Odysseus's crafty designs really have to shine. He needs a plan. A brilliant one.
And he finds a weapon.
Sort of. He finds Polyphemus's club. It's olive wood, still green, huge, like the mast of a cargo-carrying broad black ship.
A massive piece of wood.
Exactly. He gets his men to help him smooth it down. Then he sharpens one end to a point, hardens it in the fire. It's like an improvised giant spear. Then he hides it. Very carefully planned.
But he needs more than just a pointy stick, right? He needs an opportunity.
He does. And he has something else up his sleeve. Or rather, in his wineskin.
The special wine.
Yes, that gift from Meron, the priest of Apollo. Sweet wine, unmixed, a divine drink, so strong you'd mix 1 cup with 20 parts water. Powerful stuff.
So the plan involves getting the giant drunk.
That's part 1. When Polyphemus comes back that evening and eats 2 more men, bringing the total dead to 6, Odysseus makes his move. He offers the wine.
Bowl.
He pours him bowl after bowl. 3 times. Until, as the text says, the wine had got into the brains of the Cyclops, he gets him completely hammered.
And then comes the masterstroke, the name game.
Exactly. The Cyclops, drunk and maybe feeling a bit generous in his monstrous way, asks Odysseus his name, promising him a guest gift.
And Odysseus says,
Nobody. He says, my father and mother call me Nobody, as do all the others who are my companions.
nobody. Odys, in Greek, it sounds like a negation, but it's also a name. Clever wordplay.
Brilliant wordplay. And Polyphemus, completely fooled, slurs out his gift. Then I will eat nobody last after his friends. He thinks he's being cruel, but he's sealed his own fate with that name.
Okay, the Cyclops passes out drunk. Now's the time.
Now's the time. Odysseus and his chosen men retrieve the olive stake, heat the point in the fire until it's glowing.
And then,
They lift it together, aim for the single eye, and drive it in. Hard. Odysseus uses his weight, twisting it like a shipwright drills timber with a brace and bit.
the description is intense.
It's incredibly graphic. The blood boiled around the hot point, the eye sizzled, it scorched his eyelids and eyebrows, the roots crackled in the fire. He compares the sound to a blacksmith plunging hot metal into cold water.
Just
Yeah.
visceral. A necessary horror, but horror nonetheless.
Absolutely. And the Cyclops' roar of agony shakes the cave. He rips the stake out, flailing blindly.
And he calls for help.
He does. He shouts out to the other Cyclops living nearby. They gather outside the cave, asking what's wrong.
And this is where the nobody trick pays off.
Perfectly. Polyphemus yells, "Nobody is killing me. Nobody is killing me by force or treachery."
So the others just shrug.
Pretty much. They figure if nobody is harming him, it must be a sickness from the gods, maybe from Zeus. They tell him to pray to his father, Poseidon, and they leave.
Amazing.
Odysseus, hiding inside, actually laughs. He says he laughed over how my name and my perfect planning had fooled him. It's pure tactical genius, linguistics as a weapon.
Okay, so Polyphemus is blind, but he's still dangerous, and he's still blocking the door. How do they get out?
Another crafty design is needed. Odysseus can't just fight his way past.
Right.
So he notices the rams, big, thick-fleeced rams penned in the cave.
He gets an idea.
A brilliant one. He uses pliant willow withes, flexible branches, to secretly tie his men underneath the bellies of the rams. 3 rams lashed together for each man, with the man hidden under the middle one.
Hidden underneath.
Yes. And Odysseus himself chooses the biggest, finest ram and clings underneath its belly. Last man out.
That's ingenious. So when morning comes,
Polyphemus, blind but needing to let his flock out to pasture, opens the cave entrance. But he stands there, or sits there, feeling the backs of each sheep as it goes out to make sure no men are riding on top.
but they're underneath.
Exactly. He feels the woolly backs in his guilelessness, the text says, completely unaware the men are escaping right under his hands.
There's that bit where he talks to the lead ram, isn't there? The one Odysseus is clinging to.
Yes, it's actually quite poignant. He strokes the ram, wondering why it's lagging behind, usually the first one out. He laments his blindness, blames nobody, and wishes the ram could talk and tell him where nobody is hiding. It's a moment where you almost feel a sliver of pity for the monster. Almost.
But the plan works. They get out.
They get out, they quickly untie themselves, drive the sheep down to the ship. Their waiting companions are overjoyed to see them, but then immediately mourn the men who were lost. A mix of relief and grief.
Odysseus tells them to load the sheep quickly and push off. They've done it. They've escaped.
They have. It's an incredible victory of cunning over brute force, but then...
Then Odysseus makes a mistake. A big one.
The fatal one, you could argue. As the ship pulls away, safely out of throwing range, or so he thinks he can't resist, he has to yell back.
Taunting the monster.
Yes. First, just general taunts, but then he reveals his name.
No. After the whole nobody thing worked so well.
Exactly. He shouts, "Cyclops, if any mortal man ever asks you who it was that inflicted upon your eye this shameful blinding, tell him that you were blinded by Odysseus, sacker of cities. Laertes is his father, and he makes his home in Ithaca."
He gives him everything. Name, title, father, home address. What?
Hubris, pride, the need for kleos, for fame, for glory. He wants the story told, and told correctly, with his name attached. He can't stand the thought of his greatest feat being attributed to nobody.
And that has consequences. Immediate ones.
Devastating ones. Polyphemus hears the name Odysseus, and he remembers an old prophecy that someone named Odysseus would blind him.
Oh, wow.
And now he knows who to blame and who to ask for vengeance. He prays to his father.
Poseidon, god of the sea.
Yes. And it's a terrible curse he calls down. Grant that Odysseus may never reach that home, but if it is decided that he shall see his own people, let him come late in bad case, with the loss of all his companions in someone else's ship and find troubles in his household.
That's basically the plot of the rest of the Odyssey, isn't it?
Pretty much. That prayer sets the trajectory for years of suffering, all because Odysseus couldn't keep his mouth shut, because he needed the glory associated with his name.
And Poseidon hears him. Polyphemus throws huge rocks.
2 mountain peaks, actually. The first one lands just in front of the ship. The second one lands behind it, creating this massive wave that almost pushes them back onto the shore. They barely escape again.
A physical sign of the curse taking effect immediately.
You could see it that way. And even when Odysseus later sacrifices one of the rams to Zeus...
It doesn't help.
No. The text is clear. Zeus was not moved by my offerings, but still was pondering on a way how all my strong-bent ships should be destroyed and all my eager companions. The die is cast. That moment of hubris has sealed their fate, or at least made the journey infinitely harder.
So was it worth it? Asserting his name.
That's the million drachma question, isn't it? Was it a necessary act for a hero seeking immortal fame? Or just a colossal, prideful blunder that cost his men dearly and delayed his homecoming for a decade? The text leans heavily towards the latter.
What a journey, just in this one chapter. We've gone through this incredible encounter, the cunning, the bravery, the horror.
And the consequences, both of Odysseus' brilliance and his flaws.
Yeah. It really shows you, leadership isn't just about smart plans. It's about discipline, the crews, and the leaders.
Exactly. The dangers of disobedience, like with the Ciconians, but also the danger of the leader's own pride, like Odysseus' final taunt. Actions have ripple effects, sometimes huge ones we don't foresee. This encounter changes everything for Odysseus.
So, for you, the learner, listening to this, maybe think about Odysseus' choices. The good, the bad, the brilliant, the flawed. How do they resonate with challenges you might face?
Yeah, that balance. When is it smart to be nobody? To keep things quiet, play it safe strategically.
And when is it crucial to declare who you are? To stand by your name and your actions, even if there's a potential cost?
It makes you think about that prophecy, too. It came true. Polyphemus was blinded by Odysseus. But look at the price.
Right. So what names do we declare in our own lives, out of pride or necessity?
And what are the long-term consequences, the curses, or maybe the blessings that might follow? It's something fundamental about identity, fame, and the echoes of our choices.